If you've ever stood on a piece of land in the Texas Hill Country and tried to picture the home that belongs there, or stood in front of an older home in San Antonio, knowing it's coming down and something extraordinary is going to take its place, you know that feeling. Excited, a little overwhelmed, and not entirely sure where to start. This is The Collier Way, a podcast about what it really takes to build a home that lasts. I am Collier Bashara, Southern Living Builder of the Year and founder of Collier Custom Homes. Every episode, I share what over 2 decades of building luxury homes in San Antonio and the Texas Hill Country has taught me, so you can make better decisions, ask better questions, and find the right team for the most important project of your life. Subscribe and follow along. Every episode, something worth knowing.
How are y'all doing today? I'm really excited. We're in a house that I built about 3 years ago, and Katherine Trimble is my client, and she has been courteous enough and willing enough to come be on the show, and I really appreciate it. But this was a really special house. It was right in my wheelhouse of my taste palette, it's always funny when I get to work with a client that has the same palette as I do. And as we're going through, it's fun to see how she's making selections and how I'm like, oh my God, that's going to be awesome. And it did. It turned out beautiful. This is one of my favorites. So I'm going to turn this over to Katherine, let her tell you a little bit about herself, and then we're going to talk all about the build process, what it was like to be a client, what it was like to be building, what it was like to build with Collier Custom Homes, what advice she would give to other people thinking about building. But this is really the custom building process in central San Antonio, where it's an infill project. And there was a house on this lot before we ever started.
Yes.
And I don't know, it wasn't much of it. It was a big house.
This is a big lot, I think.
It is a huge.
That's what I was going for. So they were hard to come by at the time. And
Absolutely.
Now I feel like there's a lot of lots popping up.
There's a few. So anyhow, we get off topic, and we're going to do that. We're going to have some fun today. So this is Katherine, and tell me about yourself.
Oh gosh, I've got 3 kids and my husband Robert, and we've been living here in San Antonio since 2011, and we have lived in many parts of the city: Medical Center, Converse, Stone Oak, and here. We moved to the area, to Alamo Heights, in 2017 and fell in love with the community and the beauty down here and everything. Knew we wanted to stay here, and we had our kids in school down here and everything. We spent a few years in a home near the high school, and it was great. But then we had the 3rd kid come about and grew out of that house. It just wasn't layout-wise working for me. It felt a little tight, and I wanted all the kids on the same floor and just some other nitpicky things of mine. So we just started thinking about it and about building, and I was like, oh, I don't know, do I really want to do that? And it always just seemed daunting. And I had heard from other people who had built. My sister had just built a house up in New Jersey, and you just hear these secondhand stories and you go, ugh, I don't know, I wish I could just find something that's done. It seemed easier. But then I started thinking, you know what, we're going to be here for a long time, and I want a 20-year home, at least 20 years. I want to be there through the kids, getting through high school, have a home base for when they start to leave for college. So I thought, if I'm going to spend that much time there, let's just do it right and get something I really want and all the little nitpicky things satisfied, and then we'll be good to go. So that's kind of how it all began. That was my thought process leading up to finding you.
And it was a fun process.
Yeah.
And you had my dream team.
Yeah.
So Janet was your realtor. And like I said, this podcast is going to follow the showcase home. So
Yes.
Janet's taking care of my showcase. Elizabeth is doing my architecture. And she did the architecture on this. We have a different designer. We've talked a lot about the requirements of a designer and how important they are to the overall process.
Yeah.
So you found the lot.
Yes, found the lot. There were a few to choose from, but I really had a pretty small yard in the last house we came from, and I wanted a bigger yard and more space for the kids and beautiful big trees and stuff. And so drove by this place a few times. Janet had this one as an option and wasn't quite sure about the location, really liked Terrell Hills, but in the end, it just seemed like the perfect size. And the house that was here, I think it was built in the 30s or something.
It was old.
It was pretty old, and it had been added on to a lot in chunks over the years, so it was very choppy, and it was a tear down. They were selling it as a tear down. It just kind of worked out, and this street had so many great kids on it and families I'd already known, and anyway, just the stars aligned, and we ended up going with this house and the tear down process, and that was probably the most exciting day of my toddler's life, the tear down day. Some neighborhood kids came by, or like, the cat's here.
Oh yeah. And it's fun. It's fun to watch that big machine roll up on your lot. Yep. I mean, it's an excavator. So you bring this excavator and it's got this bucket and it just starts grabbing, and it is one day and the house is usually down, maybe two.
It's wild how fast they can destroy ever to build one, and then they just knock it right down.
And they do. They knock it right down. It takes forever to haul it off.
Yes, that is a longer process.
And we've talked a little bit in the podcast about when you make that decision that the house can't be saved. And it was, you and I walked the house.
Yeah.
And we were like, no.
Yeah.
You knew what you wanted. We went in, we did the drawings, and then you stuck with your decision. You trusted that you had already thought this through. And when you do something like that, it does keep you to maybe 3 versions of a set of plans instead of 20 or 30, or the stories that you hear from, I'm sure, your sister up in New Jersey, where, oh my gosh, we were designing and designing and designing.
Yeah, and even friends, I think that's one of the things that a lot of people think is the hardest part, is making all the decisions. And I have friends who've renovated recently, and they're like, how am I going to pick a column shape or a light fixture design? There's so many options, really overwhelming. And I don't know if this is a good or bad thing, but I just know myself and my personality, and I am a really fast decision maker. And so with Elizabeth, with Courtney, with everyone involved, I was just like, give me 3 options that you think fit my style, and I'm just going to pick one. Because otherwise it could go on forever.
It can. And you trusted the process.
Yeah.
And yes, Elizabeth's great at that. And then you used Courtney was your designer.
Yep.
And she did a great job.
Oh yeah.
And again, it's the importance of a designer. I have harped on every one of my clients, and it's not an option with any of my clients. If you want to come build with me, you've got to have a designer.
Yes.
And it has to be a designer that understands the building process.
Yes.
Because there's a difference.
There is a difference between having someone there from the very beginning and just bringing someone in to decorate afterward. And she was great at both. But I mean, before building, I didn't even realize that was a thing. But you need someone to advise you on, you're probably going to want a light socket there, or just little things like that I wouldn't think about. So I think everyone worked together really well, and it, like you said, it was a dream team.
Yeah, it really was.
The puzzle pieces all fit.
Yeah, my favorite thing that Courtney, I think she does it in every one of her first meetings, and it's when husbands really realize we've lost control of the project. She goes, your Christmas tree is going to go here.
Yeah.
I think that is the first meeting every time.
And they're like, the Christmas tree.
The husbands are like, we have to have a Christmas tree? And the wives are like, oh yes, and that is generally our exit role.
So many things to think about. Well, and funnily enough, that was one of the things I did not like about my old house, is I did not have a good spot for my tree, and hence this.
Yes, so now you have a whole parlor with and we didn't we put the socket on a switch?
Yes, I think so.
Since one of these switches up here where you can come in and turn on your tree
Christmas
and turn off your tree. So think about that when you're doing Christmas. You need your light switch tied to your socket.
Yep.
What was the most exciting part of building?
Oh, man. Well, I think most exciting part for me was always the 3D renderings.
Okay.
Coming into your office and you've got some new picture or new elevation is drawn out from Elizabeth, and you're just presenting, and it just helps visualize and get it all together in your head. And you can, I can really see it now. So that was always really exciting. And then of course, picking out, I don't know, maybe I'm a nerd for this kind of stuff, but just picking out the baluster, is that the right word?
No, the balusters, yeah.
The shape, and going to pick out the slab for the counters, that kind of stuff. It's not really full. It's more exciting to me because they're permanent fixtures in the house. I could change pillows, whatever, but that's the kind of stuff that was really exciting.
What was the biggest challenge? And it could have been your builder.
It was.
I'd like to think it's not, but
no, I think unexpected delays that are out of your control. I think just shipping problems or weather or a contractor not being available or something showing up and a part of it's broken or something like that. Because those things are exciting too when you're like, oh, this is going in today. And then there's a problem, and then it's 3 more weeks. And when you talk to people about building, I think one of the number one complaints is how long it takes. And I always try to remind people, you want custom, right? That's, you get back what you put in, and it can be frustrating. It can take a while, but I always tell people it's so worth it in the end. You're gonna be so happy. Stick it out. And the things that are out of your control, especially for someone who's a big planner and schedule maker, and for me, those unexpected things were the challenge, I think.
Yeah. And I've always said, if you want to hear God laugh, make a schedule.
Exactly.
If you want to take them to a comedy club, take them to a contractor's office and give them a schedule.
Have 'em build.
It's a whole different level of comedy for God.
It is. It builds your patience. So it's good.
So you've been in the house 2 years, 3 years?
I'm pretty sure we moved in March of 24.
Okay.
Does that sound right?
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
So almost 3 years.
Yeah.
Or over 3
2 and
years.
a half.
2 and a half.
Is that right? No,
March of
2 and a half.
24, yeah. Time flies.
That's crazy.
So what has been your favorite part now? Because you always have those parts that you design that you think are going to be your favorites. And then, at least with my wife and I, when we built, Dana and I's favorite part ended up being our back porch. We didn't realize we were going to spend every waking moment in there. What has been, now that you've lived here for a while, what's your favorite part of the house?
I didn't realize it was going to be, and it's all concentrated in one area, but I think it's behind the kitchen.
Okay.
And I have a dear friend of mine, she loves it. She shows people that area of the house every time she's over here, and this is the brain of the house. It's the laundry room, my office, the butler's pantry, the mudroom. Just because I think every room is so different, but done so well. And some of my favorite aspects of what we did are back there with the dog crates in the laundry room and the cubbies in the mudroom. And this is so silly. One of my favorite parts are those cabinets in the pantry on either side. And I don't know what they were called. They pull out so you have your big appliances in there, and it rolls out so you can grab it.
They were the corner cabinets.
Yeah, and not
Okay.
have to dig back in there.
Yeah.
And anyway, that whole area back there is my favorite.
And I'm going to say you were a little bit ahead of the time, because now on almost all plans, you see and I would now call that a scullery. We called it a butler's pantry.
Oh, yeah.
And now what you're seeing on almost every set of plans is the scullery. And it is exactly that space.
Yeah.
You've got a whole separate prep area. That's where your coffee is.
Yep.
You've got a baker's oven in there. Come Thanksgiving, if your in-laws have taken over your kitchen, you can go in there and
Yeah.
have your own space.
Take a breath.
Or parents, for that
Check
matter.
on the oven, yeah.
In-laws, parents. In-laws are a cliche.
All of them, any of them. Yeah, that is definitely my favorite part.
Has it met the family's needs? You've got the
yeah.
3 kids upstairs, and they each have their own bedroom, their own bathroom,
Yep.
their own closet. They haven't had to share, which probably keeps the house a little sane.
Yes, keeps me sane being able to just send them up there, or when it's bedtime and I have a friend over or something or entertaining, we're not worried about waking them up. They're up there. We even did the little playroom, which mine never use it. They always want to be right down here in my business, but it's available if they need to be sent up there. Just go with your friends on the couch, watch a movie.
It will change as they get a little bit older, I suspect. You go
Yeah.
from 7th grade down to 1st grade? Thomas? Kinder?
Almost, and
Okay.
Howie's there, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's as they grow, I bet they take over, because it was a great upstairs den that you did for them.
Oh, yeah. And it's doubled as a 4th bedroom when we have guests. That's been nice.
Absolutely. Now, your husband had his own office here.
Yes.
Does he love that space?
He loves that space. I'm just like, that's your domain. Just do what you want in there. He spends time in there pretty much every day. Yeah.
Yeah. The office is,
He's a little cave.
I think all men need their
Yeah.
little relaxed time. And your backyard was fabulous. I mean,
Oh,
you did
yeah.
so much with the backyard, an outdoor kitchen, a big patio out there. You did
Yep.
turf for the play structure.
Yes, the playscape. That was one of the bigger things also that I wanted in this house was a better flow for entertaining, more space outside for entertaining. And it's perfect. It's the perfect amount of patio versus grass. So glad we didn't do the pool. I got lots of grass out there, which has been really nice. And I've been able to host a lot of events for the school and parties for fiesta and stuff, and it's worked out really well.
Fantastic. Yeah. So what advice would you give to somebody who is thinking about building?
Oh, I would say go in prepared. Go in with knowing pretty much what you want. Inspiration pictures may feel really silly to bring into a builder's office. Your first time building, you're like, oh, here's my Pinterest board, a little, okay, and correct me if I'm wrong, it probably helps you just to see pictures of what they're thinking and go in with expectations that things might happen, delays might happen, and that's okay, and just do your meditations and just do it.
So I need to add a meditation.
Yeah, maybe a candle on.
Yes, absolutely.
Some incense.
Oh my. And would you do it again? Would you build again? Are you going to build again in 20 years?
I was about to say, maybe in 20 years. I don't know. I think it depends on where we are at that point in life and the kids and everything. Honestly, even now, I would say I could probably do it again, and it's been 2.5 years. When you're in it, it can seem frustrating and exciting and all the things, but then you kind of forget about all the bad parts. It's like having a kid.
You forget those nights of staying up
bad
all
parts,
night long.
And then you're like, let's have another one. So I think I'm definitely open to building again, but I don't want to leave this house for a long time.
You built it where you could age in place pretty easily in this house, and that is such a trend also, is age in place. We leave wide doors, and you had done wide doors. We did tall ceilings. You did pretty ceiling treatments. All the things that you did in this house are timeless.
Yes, I didn't want to do any fads, anything that in 5 years I would look back and be like, oh, why did I do that? So I tried to take a lot of things from much older houses and bring that back in because it is timeless.
Yeah, and your house does have that feel. And again, like I said, your house plays into my wheelhouse. It is my style, classic, timeless. Yeah. How do you like I want to ask you about your range. I've never asked you about your range because you got that huge, beautiful
You're gonna
range.
laugh at me. I love the range. I use the stovetop all the time. I still never use the oven.
Okay.
I use the wall ovens in the scullery.
Yes.
And they just, I don't know. I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to get it dirty.
Okay. Well,
it's too pretty.
It's pretty. Yes. And so you've got, okay, so I met with Sarah yesterday, who is the Monogram rep.
Oh,
because you have Monogram appliances. How do you like the oven?
Oh, they're great. That French door oven is the best thing ever. It's so good. You don't realize it until you have one and you're like, how did I live without an oven? Yeah, I do. I love those. I use those pretty much exclusively.
I understand. That's the purpose of the scullery, is that second oven, and you have a pretty one and then you have a functional one.
Yep.
Would you do something different on the house?
Honestly, I don't think so. I'm pretty happy. I would probably have made the garage bigger.
Okay.
Just because I didn't realize I was going to have a massive car to now. Oh, I went from minivan to a huge Suburban, and poor Robert, I kicked him out of the garage. It just, with the kids, you know how they fling doors open and and I'm like, we're going to hit each other's doors or the wall, but we made it work. It'll be fine. We have a huge driveway.
Yes.
So kids, when they start to drive, can park.
You're going to fill it up.
There. Yeah. Yep.
Was there anything else you'd like to tell us about your house? I've drilled you pretty good here for 30 minutes or so.
I think we hit all the best parts.
I think we did. It's a great house. It really is.
Thanks to you. It was a team effort.
Yeah.
And you were really awesome through the whole process.
I
really appreciate making my house dreams come true.
It was fun. It was a fun build. You guys, I want to thank y'all all for being here today. It has been a real blessing to have Katherine take time out of her busy schedule. She's got kids that are ready to go to swimming pools. She is holding a yes ma'am birthday party.
Yeah, yes day.
Yes day birthday. I'm going to have to be careful of this one. But we really want to thank you. Follow along. We've got a lot more exciting things happen. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, and thank y'all for your time today.
This has been The Collier Way. Thank you for spending time with me today. New episodes every week. Subscribe whenever you listen to podcasts, and follow along on YouTube. I am Collier Bashara. See you soon, and have a great day.